Macros is short for micronutrients, but what are they actually? They are the three categories of nutrients that you eat the most and also that provide you the most of your energy. So it's carbs, fat, and protein. So when you are counting your macros, you are counting the grams of the carbs, fat, and protein that you put in your body. Alcohol is also the fourth micronutrients. So understanding your calorie intake is crucial to see the results that you want, because it's calorie in versus calorie out. But understanding your macros is even more crucial to understand where those calories are coming from and how it makes your body perform, and also how it will affect your results. Protein is our body's building stones, and it's crucial to have a lean and a toned body. Carbs is our body's main energy source, and it's the macro that our body really needs to be able to perform in our lives. Our brains alone needs 120 grams of carbs every day. Fat protects our organs. It also helps our body to absorb important nutrients like vitamins, as well as controlling your blood pressure. So as you can hear, we can't be without any of the micronutrients, so we need to make sure that we get enough of each of every single one of them to be able to perform at our best. A common misunderstanding is that calories equals macros, and this is not really true. For example, 100 grams of chicken or chicken breast is 165 calories and 25 grams of protein. 100 grams of pasta is around 350 calories and also contains 65 grams of carbs. So as you can see, the amount of calories does not equal the amount of the micronutrients they contain. Most of the food that we eat contains more than just one of the micronutrients. They most often contains all three of them, or at least two of them. 1 gram of protein equals 4 calories. 1 gram of carbs equals 4 calories. 1 gram of fat, though, equals 9 calories. And 1 gram of alcohol equals 7 calories. So they all contain different amount of energy depending on what source, what micronutrients your energy comes from. So understanding this, maybe you can now already start to think how your current diet is looking today. Most of the clients that comes to me and most of the people I speak to have a very high fat diet. But as I just told you, fat is the micronutrients with the most amount of calories per gram of fat. So we have 9 calories per gram, but with carbs and protein, we only have 4 calories of grams. So when it comes to your goal, obviously your calorie intake is crucial, but also understanding of where the calories comes from, because if you do just a slight adjustment, it can have a huge impact of the results you get and also the body that you have. So to make use of the new information that you might have got and the new understanding of the macros and how they might affect your current results, we're gonna go through how you actually calculate and how you track your macros in the next step. This will help you to understand maybe what adjustments you might have to do in your current nutrition and your current diet to be able to see the results that you actually dream for and that you are aiming for. You can have a lean and toned and sculpted body, but you need to know what to adjust. So that is what we're gonna jump over to right now. So what I want you to do here to be able to make use of all the new knowledge that you just got is that you want to find out your TDEE. When you have it, I want you to make the adjustments needed for your goals. So whether that is a cut phase, so subtracting 10 to 20% of your TDEE, whether that's a maintenance phase that you then find in your balance, so you take your TDEE, or if you want to be in a surplus, that's adding 50 to 200 calories over a period of time. When you have found out your TDEE, made the adjustments depending on your goals, now it's time to calculate, okay, so what would your macro split be depending on the calories you need for just maintaining your current state, so your TDEE, and also counted in the adjustments needed for your specific goals right now. A good split when it comes to the macros is 30, 50, and 20 for people that are new to macro counting and are new to dieting properly. And a good split for the more advanced people is a 40, 40, 20 split. meaning 30% of protein, 50% of carbs, and 20% of fat. So it's protein, carbs, fat. If you're more advanced, then it's 40% protein, 40% carbs, and 20% fat. So how we do this now is that we need to find out our protein, our carbs, and our fat intake in grams every day to make sure that we are hitting our macro split. To find out our protein, we need to take 0.3 times our calorie intake, including then the adjustments we needed to do to be in a cut phase or a bulk phase if we are not just staying with our TDEE for maintenance. So 0.3 times your calorie intake divided by 4, because every gram of protein contains 4 calories. So when you have done that whole equation, then you have found out how many grams of protein you need each day to be in a 30% macro split here. Next up, we have our carbs. So here we need to take 0.5 times our calorie intake with the adjustments divided by 4 again, because every gram of carb contains 4 calories. So by doing this, we will figure out how many grams we need to eat of carbs every day to have a macro split with 50% carbs. And lastly, we need to figure out our fat target. So here we take 0.2, so 20%, times our calorie intake with the adjustments divided by 9. So 1 gram of fat was 9 calories. So here we will find out then how many grams of fat we need each day to have a 20% split in our macros for our fats. If you go for the more advanced macro split, if you are not new to this, then you go for 0.4 times your calorie intake divided by 4 for the protein. You do the same for the carbs, and then you have the 0.2 times your calorie intake divided by 9 for your fats. So this puts you in a 40-40-20 split. So 40% protein, 40% carbs, 20% of fat. To make sure that you stay on top of this and that you hit your calorie as well as your macro goals, I always suggest to use MyFitnessPal. They have a really big library with different foods, different meals. It's easy to log and track your food on there. So what we want to do is firstly that we obviously want to hit our calorie intake goal, because that is what will help us go either down in weight or up in weight, depending if we want to be in a cut or a bulk phase or building phase. And the macros are so crucial to be able to perform our best so we can see the change in our physique. So it's not just the calories in, calories out. We need the macros to be able to actually see the lean change in our body so we get a more toned, sculpt body with more definition. So how we make this work in our lives and how we are finding more freedom is by doing all these steps so we then can end up in a flexible dieting. Macro tracking actually helps you eat more freely, as you can see that all foods that we eat contain all the 3 different macros, or some contain more of some and some contain less of some, but you can see that you can fit every single food item that you want into your macros. You don't have to restrict any food from your diet, but you can still see results. Protein is the most crucial macro to hit to have this toned and lean body. So if you're making sure that you hit your calorie intake as well as your protein target, then you can be a little bit more flexible with your carbs and fat targets. Obviously, you still want to make sure that you get enough of both of them, but the protein target is the most crucial one. So really focus on that as well as your calorie intake. There's a saying that if it fits your macros, and yes, that is kind of true, because if you hit your macros most of the times, you don't have to be perfect all the time, but at least 6 out of 7 days a week that you hit it, then you can be more freely. You can include more of the things that you actually enjoy, and you don't have to restrict any foods out. I often say whole foods over soul foods most of the time, but obviously we need the soul foods to be able to feel like we're actually living life and that we can enjoy ourselves. So going out drinking or going out eating in restaurants or having a dessert or a pizza or whatever that you feel is adding to your soul, those are equally as important as hitting your whole foods most of the time. So a good thing here with the flexible dieting is to think 80% whole foods, 20% soul foods. So you're not cutting anything out, you're still enjoying life, you're still doing the things that you like, but you are not sacrificing your results, so you feel like you can have the best of both. Life is meant to be lived, and I obviously want you to live the best life that you can possibly live. So I'm not going to be the one telling you to restrict food. I'm not going to be the one to tell you that you have to be perfect 100% of the time, but it's the effort that you put in, and if you're consequent with this over time, you will see results and you will see progress and you will see the body that you dream of having. If this was a lot of new things for you, make sure that you go back and watch this again. Go back to the things that you didn't really catch the first time. Maybe you can catch it the second time. Do the exercises, find out your TDEE, put yourself in the adjustments that you need depending if you want to be in a cut phase or a building phase. Make sure that you find out your macros. Make sure that you get onto a food tracking app. I always recommend MyFitnessPal because that's the easiest ones that I found, but you can pick any one that you want and do it consistently over time. Be patient. Do this and see it as a learning lesson, not just a strict thing for yourself to do just for once or twice. You need to be able to understand to also get more freedom, because that's when we understand portion sizes, we understand macros, and we can move away from tracking and we can have the flexible diet without having to log all we eat. We can just understand our portion sizes and our nutrition. And that is really my goal from this course, and for you to understand better and to know what to do and how to adjust depending on your goal, so you can stay lean for as long as you prefer to be lean and toned and have a sculpt body, because you know exactly what to do when you see the scale going a little bit in a different direction from what your actual goal is. Make sure you also check the resources that will also help you a little bit better on your way and on your journey. And if there's anything that you wonder over or that is confusing, reach out to me and I will make sure to help you out.